Hello friends, welcome to this new lesson. This is the lesson number 19 in this series of literary criticism in English. And in this lesson we shall discuss Giambattista Vico. In the previous lesson we discussed John Locke, his theory of tabula rasa and treatise on government, the famous work, and the theory of empiricism. Now we are moving to this writer. He is not so important figure. Only once there was a one question asked in the UGC net. It is related to New Science, written in 1725. New Science is work written by Giambattista or Battista Vico. So this name doesn't really seem like an English name. It is an Italian name. So yes, Giambattista Vico is an Italian philosopher, and he lived during the same age of enlightenment where the people were thinking with logic and reasons. And he gave one simple principle, that is of the racialism. So he was criticizing the racialism where we have different races of black or white or of a different, you can say, across the different culture, across the different continents, we have different races. According to the personality of one person, we see the difference between the two by their shapes and figures and their look, personality. So all sort of a variety of, you can see, the human personality, that is their differences or their appearances that one can notice. So such a sort of differences when there is some sort of, you can say, the partial behavior or exploitation by the one race of the other. He is simply criticizing that. Now about this work, New Science, it is published in 5 books. So I am just giving you just overview of this work. Not so important, just quickly telling you about these 5 parts of this work. In this work we have 5 books. The first one is talking about the establishment of principles. It is a magnum opus, means a very important work or his major work. Magnum opus means the major work of any writer. So this is his major work. Secondly, okay, not so that important, but his major work, and it is written in Latin. So in English its name is New Science. In Latin maybe a different name. So in this work we have the first one, establishment of principle. Here he is giving us a chronological table of the different civilizations. So I just told you that he is talking about the races, different races across the different continents and countries. So different civilizations. So he is giving us a table, or you can say table where chronologically means which civilization came first on this earth and then which one came later. And this one also containing, there are about 100 plus idioms or proverbs, how these proverbs, maxims originated, proverbs such are created. Then in the part 1 he is talking about the poetic wisdom, where he talks about religious development of all nations and how religion is developed across the different countries. So now first about the civilization. In the second part he is talking about the development of the religion in various countries. The third part talks about discovery of a true Homer. The title is given as the discovery of a true Homer. Homer, we know, the Greek famous poet. His major work is Iliad and Odyssey. So if you haven't gone through these works, I request you that, because number of time now we find that in most of the lessons we are just getting references to these works. So I request you that on this channel you have one playlist of the European literature, and in that, in the beginning you will find a few of the lesson on Homer, his works, Iliad and Odyssey. What is their content? You should go through with them so that you will remember that what is the major content and about the writer and about the plot of these 2 heroic poems. So the complete analysis of these work, Iliad and Odyssey, is given in this. And then he is saying that This work does not really seems like of a single author. Means even there is a theory that Homer was not a single person. It may be the collective contribution. Means Iliad and Odyssey is the collective contribution of the group of people which are came to be known, or which later came to be known as Homer. So there is not much authenticity about this fact, but still there are some doubts or rumors about it. So similarly, he is saying, challenging that Homer is not a one person. So this work is not the production of one single person, and he saying that this work is accumulated by several poets. And further, uh, one more point we have, like for Shakespeare, even it is said that he's as we see, Shakespeare has written number of 37, 38 plays we find, and in such a short span of life he has produced so many plays. So how can it be possible? So people are still there are with some doubts, as there is one writer we have, the name of that writer is that was living in almost his age, Christopher Marlowe. So there is a belief going on that Shakespeare was Christopher Marlowe and Marlowe was William Shakespeare. So means both to be the same person, or maybe one is taking the personality or the identity of the other person. So similarly with William Shakespeare, that this is not the collective work of one person, because there are several signatures found with different works and different styles. Of about 16 or 17 type of signatures are found with these works. So these are different signatures. So that is why there is a theory that this is not the work by one gentleman. So similar here we have like Homer. He is doubting that it is not a single person. The Iliad and Odyssey is not a work of a single man. Then in the fourth part we have, or the fourth book we have, Course on Nations Run. And in this part he is studying about the different periods, as we have in almost in every tradition. It's a Hindu tradition or Christian tradition. We find that the earlier there was the age of God, then came the you can say the heroes, and then came the age of men, as there were some gods in European culture. You see, I have a lesson on then about Greek and Roman gods. So you can check in the European literature series about there were some gods, and then came the demigods, and then came the man on this earth. So there were different ages across the 5,000 years from now. Even from now it will be like 7,000 years, because it was about 5,000 BC, 3,000 BC, 4,000 BC. So 2,000 year we are already, and going back 3 or 4,000 years back. So a collective period of 6 or 7,000 years. And this book talks about the custom and nature and everything that is different, means across the different countries, related to religion and related to social life. So dominantly it talks about the age of different three ages: age of God, age of heroes, and age of men. Heroes means like superheroes, like we have Achilles, and one major name is like Hercules in European culture. And then we have the fifth one. This book talks about the recourse of human institution which nation take when they rise again. Actually, this is the title, like recourse of human institution which nation take when they rise again. So it talks about, in nutshell, if I say about evolution theory, means it is cyclic. So there is a rise and fall. So simply it's saying that the human evolution is cyclic. It is changing. It is not just static, as we have the famous theories of the scientist like Charles Darwin. He has talked about the species, different species, they are surviving and they are eliminating or transforming from one into another. So such things is talked about here, that evolution is cyclic. So the species or whatever, means the things, they are changing by the time, not static. So simply you remember about this work as a new science and 5 different parts I simply talked about, and this was a question as earlier I told you. So there is not much worthy to go deep into this work. I also have taken just a simple overview of this work, haven't gone deep into this work. So simply related to scientific aspects, and also about especially the uh, period where the human, you can say, the race is starting. So talking about human races, and then about the old traditions, and going across the different civilizations or so. So that's all about Giambattista Vico, Italian philosopher, and his important work, New Science. In the next lesson, we shall be discussing one or two another philosopher of this age, and then we shall discuss William Wordsworth as a critique. Thanks for watching this lesson. Have a nice day.